Thank you, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to the 10th anniversary of the Giving Kids Hope Gala. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to our campus, our beautiful University Circle, and more importantly, to tonight's celebration of the wonderful work of the Research Institute for Children's Health at the School of Medicine. The Institute's innovative research, led by the terrific Mitch Drum, leads not just to breakthrough discoveries and treatments. It also brings hope and, importantly, leads to better outcomes for children with rare genetic-based disorders. Your generosity tonight, and generosity tonight is actually a required ingredient of a successful evening. It is not optional. So your generous support will raise funds that are critical to the Institute's mission. Those funds will initiate research projects on underserved diseases, and they will encourage young scientists with hands-on opportunities in biomedical research. We thank all of you for your support for the Institute and for research that supports the lives of children. And of course, as you know, the turbulence that we face now in the federal government and the uncertainty around various funding sources make these kind of events even more central to the success of this very, very important research and to the success of the enormously dedicated scientists who work on these problems. So please enjoy your salads. If you've taken time to look at the agenda, you see that we've interspersed conversations and award presentations with food. This is an important mix. So I'm also told that 4 of the last 10 galas have been at vineyards, both here in Ohio and in California. Now, as an urban campus, it's really pretty difficult to compete with that ambiance. But what we lack in grapevines, we will make up for in wine. So throughout the evening, we will serve you some very, very tasty things. I'm very pleased now to welcome to the stage the man you know as the face of the Research Institute for Children's Health, its director and founder, Mitch Drum.
All right. Thank you, President Kaler. And thank you all for coming tonight. As I don't know everybody in the room, but I know a lot of you. And you know where my heart is in all of this. And I could not be more thrilled to see how far this has come over the last 10 years. And we'll see with my voice already gone, we'll see where we are later on. But before I do that, in all sincerity, I should probably thank all 260 of you, but obviously, we'd be here a little bit too long if we did that, but I want a couple of special thank yous. So first of all, the events team, Rebecca Mason, Heather McNally, and their team, thank you so very much for putting this all together. And the other thing that makes this happen is sponsors, right? So every year we've done this. Jim Demuth and Tucson Incorporated Construction, they have been our legend sponsors. So they have made this all happen from day one. So Jim, thank you and your company so much for doing this. My family, surprisingly, they've gotten behind this as well. And so they've helped support us. Our platinum supporters, Jim and Kim Gartner, so PerformRx, they have also been longtime supporters. Brad Hughes, Claire Sonnenborn. So Brad and Claire got involved a few years ago, and they too have continued their involvement and support. School of Medicine, that's where we live. They have always supported what we're doing. We have a new supporter, Guthrie Jackson, this year. They've not been involved before, so we're thrilled to have them here. Kaleidoscope Innovations, a biomedical engineering company down in Cincinnati. CEO happens to be my son-in-law. Thank you, Ben. Colleague Giving. Matt Colleague's philanthropy is one of the highest in the area, and so they also have been consistent supporters. The School of Nursing at Case Western is I've gotten to know the new dean, Ron Hickman there, over the past few years, and we're really trying to forge alliances between our basic lab research and what they can do in the clinic as well. So we're thrilled to have them. Our silver sponsors, Viatris Incorporated. Viatris, if you haven't met Jeff Stewart yet, you're probably the only one in the room who hasn't. He and his colleagues at Viatris have been longtime supporters. Kelly, I'm not underplaying your role. Jeff is the persona. Sixth City Marketing, they're brand new to us this year, so thank you. We're thrilled to have them. Atwood Lake Boats, they are from our home area, Tuscarawas County, so we're thrilled to have the Valets here with us. Department of Genetics and Genome Sciences, that is our home department where we do all our genetic disease research. Haynes companies, they have been supporters for the last several years as well. MKB Stormwater, similarly, the last several years. The MPB Charitable Foundation, they have been wonderful supporters. This is a foundation that the children of Mildred and Parvis Boujay, who started Discount Drug Mart, their foundation has been supporting us for many years as well. And then new this year also Tucker Ellis, a local legal firm. So anyway, thank you all, because again, this doesn't happen if we don't have that initial support to get the event going. So I thank you all. Okay. All right. And one individual that I really have to point out is Claire Smith. So Claire has donated, I can't tell you how many hours of her time to organizing much of the event that's going on tonight. So Claire, where are you hiding? So Claire, thank you. Right. And by the way, the wine you're drinking tonight comes from Gregory James Wines. That is Jim Demuth, Sonoma wine business. And Claire is the person you talk to if you want to buy some of that wine. So get to know her. All right. So to move along a little more rapidly now, the two other people who've been longtime supporters of us, Natalie Herbick from Channel 8, from Fox 8. Natalie has been, she and actually Gabe Spiegel, also from Channel 8, have been longtime supporters. They were our first two MCs when we had our event at the Cleveland Brown Stadium. I think it's 8 years ago, something thereabouts, right? So Natalie's helped us MC the last several years as well. And David McCreary, who I don't know anybody I've ever seen who can get a crowd energized the way that he can. So be prepared when we get to the auction phase to be enamored. I don't know how many of you got to see some card tricks during the silent auction phase, but David is absolutely wonderful. So we're thrilled to have them back again as well. All right. So as you heard, 10 years now. So why we're here? It's yes to have fun, but the really the meat of what we're trying to do, a couple of things. One is to carry out research on rare genetic diseases, particularly those that affect kids. And we are at a time right now where we're at in my opinion, a turning point in medicine. We now know that we can fix genetic diseases. So now we're at the point, how do we fix enough cells in the body to actually make a difference in a patient? And there's several examples where out of the 6, 7, 8, 10,000 different genetic diseases, there's a handful of them now where these therapies have actually shown to be effective. So now, how do we get this engine moving faster and work on more of these diseases? We can do it. But you may have been watching the news and you can see that we're kind of under fire right now about our faith in science. And until we get that all sorted out, we have to have other mechanisms, additional mechanisms to keep this research going. And that's one of the goals tonight is we don't want to stop until people come to their senses. We got to keep this going. So that's one. The other is it's just a societal thing. We've got to get out of these right and left and polarized camps and just talk to each other. I don't know how we got here, but we just have to do that, right? So, and the other thing is we wanted to show off, as President Kaler said, we want to show off our institution too. I think CWRU, or Case Western Reserve University, is a hidden gem in Ohio, well, in the nation. But and we want you to actually see firsthand what we do. We can't rely on you thinking that we're good. We want you to see what we do. So we like to take people through our labs, show you what we're doing. So you're going to, hopefully, as you heard the requirement to be generous tonight, that in response to that, we'd like to actually show you what we do. So we will have events throughout the year where we have you come in and we'll do little tours around the lab so you can actually see it and really get a sense, not to make this an abstract concept. And I'll shut up here in a second, but I also want to acknowledge two special guests. One of them I already talked about, Natalie Herbick. The other one, Francis Collins. So Francis was the head of the NIH, longest serving director of the world's biggest medical research operation. And the reason they're special guests tonight they are in the public spotlight all the time. And both of them have been affected by different cancers. So Francis with prostate, Natalie with breast cancer. And I'm not telling anything that's a secret, but rather these are two people who took that public appearance that they're always in the spotlight and they said, we could do something good with this. So they've both been very open to the public saying, hey, if you've got breast cancer or if you're worried about it and stuff, you need to get scanned and test for it. And Francis, same way with the prostate cancer. This is not something to be embarrassed about or anything like. If you want to treat it, cancers are much more treatable now than ever before. So it's not, if you grew up when I did, if you heard the word cancer, it was a matter of, when do we start carving the tombstone? It's not that way now, right? So, but you can't treat it if you don't know it's there. They're not there. So anyway, so they are both going to tell you different stories tonight throughout the evening. So I just wanted to thank them both for contributing tonight. So thank you both. And one of the other things that we have to do is we have to keep the next generation of scientists engaged. We got to get them excited about this stuff. And so that is another place where the funds that we raise tonight will go into getting high school students, undergraduates, bring them into the labs and get them excited about what we're doing. But it also means that I'm not at the beginning of my career, so I need to be thinking about what happens next. So in that vein, I'm going to introduce you to a young lady, Becky Dara. So Becky and I have worked together. I know I shouldn't say this, Becky, but it's over 30 years now. And she came right out of college and started working for us from the College of Worcester. Then she's going to hit me. But she came in the lab and said, I'm interested in genetics, came in the lab. And then she said, I think I'm interested in bioethics. So she entered the master's program for bioethics. And then a few years later, Case started a program in genetic counseling. And she said, I think I'm interested in genetic counseling. So she entered the genetic counseling program and she started clinical counseling for genetics. And then she said, I really miss the lab. I think I want to get my PhD. So she went back to graduate school and got her PhD in genetics. and but never left. So she stayed the whole time, and along the way she met her husband Mike, and Mike has been So Becky, because of our long-term relationship, and when we have discussions about things, it's very, very seldom we don't agree on things. And I don't think she's just being nice to me. I think we generally see eye to eye. And you'll hear that theme a little bit later from Dr. Collins, I think. So Becky is my wing person. So she is my co-director of this. And please put some pressure on her to take this on as she gets that deer in the headlights look when we talk about this. But there's nobody better poised for this. She tells me stories of the patients she's met with and the stories, the misconceptions, and how she educates them and things. It just brings you to tears. So anyway, I introduced you, Becky Dara. Yep, sorry.
All right, well, thank you. I'm going to start off by talking not about my job as a scientist, but as my job as a mom. So about 10 years ago, my son was diagnosed with a rare genetic form of vision loss, and that diagnosis predicted he would be blind by age 20. He was 8 years old at the time. I'll try not to get choked up because I remember that. But as I sat in the doctor's office and they told me all the details of this diagnosis and what I could expect, I just texted quietly from the corner the name of the disease to Mitch. And he wrote back, I think I still have the text. He wrote back, "I don't know what that means, but I know what it means for you." And, I've thought many times about that phrasing, because I think if there were a slogan for the Research Institute, it might be, "I know what it means for you." And, that's sort of what we're here for. As a genetic counselor, I've met with many, many families who are getting sort of that same sort of feeling, a scary and unexpected diagnosis. And to think about, all right, I know what this means for you. This is a big deal. The next day I came into work, so this is like 12 hours later, and Mitch has figured out the gene responsible for this disease, the specific mutations that are responsible for this disease, a potential cell line we could use to study this disease, should it come to that. And that shouldn't surprise people, because I think the most surprising part of that text was not, "I know what this means to you," it's, "I don't know what that means." And Mitch doesn't stay in that space very long. He takes care of, "I don't know what this means" with research in about 10 minutes. So he showed up and he had all these tools laid out such that should we need it, if we ever needed it, there might be experiments we could do that would help Liam's vision. And we never had to initiate those experiments, but just knowing that there was potentially something that we could do was really the power of the Research Institute. And, that's a part of it that I am most proud of, I think, is as a clinician, as a mom, and as a scientist, getting to know what it means for people is really a powerful thing. So, as I mentioned, thank you. Yeah. So I think that, I've been very proud with my work with the Research Institute, that we have been able to study some rare diseases for which there may not be federal funding. And of course, that is becoming a bigger and bigger possibility even for more common things now with the current climate, but also being able to research sort of understudied aspects of certain diseases. So I'll give an example from my own research. So about a decade ago, I had an idea from meeting with people with cystic fibrosis, many of whom complained about difficulties with sleeping. And this was sort of an often kind of discarded part of the disease course. And they thought, lots of people have trouble sleeping. We're focused on your lung disease. We're focused on your GI disease, much bigger issues. But this issue with sleep was a really big quality of life concern. And it affected many aspects of their disease. So I had an idea. I had a hypothesis. I had an idea. And I went to Mitch and I said, "I've got this idea. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's going to work. I need a little bit of money to do a couple of experiments, a little bit of equipment to get started." So Mitch met with the other members of the Research Institute. We all talked about this, and they invested $30,000 in some specialized equipment so that I could test my hypothesis. And I'm excited to say that $30,000 investment from all of you, from the money that we raised at these types of events, has now garnered over $4 million in research funding, federal funding and research funding. Thank you. Yeah. The hypothesis proved to be correct, and now we've got a large program of research that's spearheaded by myself, Tom Kelly, Danica Parfenoff, who's here tonight as well. And we're so excited to be trialing therapies to fix the circadian disruption in CF as well. So that's been a really big success because of the investment of the Research Institute. So we're excited to expand not just from some single gene disorders such as cystic fibrosis and spinal muscular atrophy is a new one we've recently added. We recruited Dr. Anton Blatnick, who's just a rock star in that field, and he's here tonight. You might have met him at the wheel tonight, spitting, peddling wine and bourbon, but in his off time, he's really a very good scientist. So he's doing SMA research, and we're expanding further to some non-single gene things such as neuromuscular diseases and diabetes to sort of expand the breadth of what the Research Institute is able to accomplish. So I'm happy to say that after a decade's worth of testing and many second and third appointments, opinions, and lots of analysis, my son's vision is stable. It seems like that probably was not the correct diagnosis for him. He's 18 and has good vision still. So we were very lucky to be in the camp for which that was perhaps not an accurate diagnosis. But I won't forget that feeling of, we know what it means for you. And I can say that as a mom, as a clinician, and as a scientist, that all of the donations and the philanthropy that all of you are doing, I know what it means, and I know what it means for the families, for us as scientists, and for parents. So, thank you.
So that summarized why we're here far better than I ever could. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is an award we put together and to acknowledge people who have helped in very, very different ways the success in moving forward the Research Institute. And I mentioned the MPB Charitable Foundation. So when we were getting started, one of the things we were missing was a really good high-powered fluorescence microscope. And that may be gobbledygook to some of you, but it was a really important piece of equipment. So MPB came forward, we took them through the lab, showed them what we were trying to do, and they were moved. Deb, I don't know where you are, Deb and Dave, there they are over here. So the Bujays and Calavics gave us the funds to buy that microscope. And that really was one of the pieces, just like the stuff you heard about, the equipment for these circadian rhythms that Becky was doing, that make the big difference, that allow us to do some of the experiments we have to do, and we didn't have that. So for moving the needle for us, they were awarded that. Pam Davis, who a number of you will know, so Pam is actually the woman who hired me back in 1991. And Pam, when we went to her and told her, I said, Pam, I want to do something in addition to CF. We're making incredible progress. And said that we wanted to start this institute. And she said, okay, fine. So she got us off the ground and said, I don't want to get in your way. I want you to, it was that thing of not controlling a person, but letting them use their momentum and their vision and stuff. And the fact that she had the faith in us to do that. Following year, you might remember there was this thing called COVID that happened. And so we ended up going virtual, but we still had a couple of folks that we really wanted to acknowledge. So I mentioned Jim Demuth, what he has done in his sponsorships over the year, helping us get this off the ground. The Kimball Foundation, so Greg Kimball, who's here, is a foundation in honor of his mom and dad. They have supported us so much over the years that, again, it's allowed us to do things I never thought would be possible. So thank you, Jim and Greg, for doing that. We didn't, the year after that, we just decided we're all remote and stuff. We're just trying to keep our pants up at that point. And the Following year, Kim Sawinski, if you'll know Kim Sawinski, Kim Scott from Channel 3 many years ago. And Kim knows more people than anybody else I know, I think. And so Kim has brought so many of you into the fold and getting to know us and so on and so forth. And so Kim does all kinds of things. She came up with an idea, scavenger hunt. We go through the metro parks, you bring your family, and we look for things and so on and so forth. So that was a way to get families engaged. She also still does to this day a yoga event every year, Yoga for Research. If you come and do yoga with Kim, you pay a couple of bucks and that money comes back to us as well. So over there, she has just engaged so many. She could not make it tonight. Her husband Roger's here. So thank you, Roger. Because I shouldn't just say Kim, because Roger's been there every step of the way as well. And Steve Demko, and Steve also, he and his wife Mary Beth, they have brought a lot of people to get to know what we're doing. But Steve also, at our very first event out in Sonoma, California, Steve made a very, very substantial donation that I want to say started the ball rolling, validated what we were trying to do, and we've been going full speed ever since. So, Steve, thank you. And Mike Dara, as you just heard his wife Becky talk about, this family has been engaged for, well, part of the family's been engaged in this for 32 years. How many years since you and Mike? 21 years. So Mike got involved, but didn't just marry Becky. He got involved with a whole bunch of us. So, and Mike has knocked on every door. You might not be surprised he's responsible for a lot of the bourbon that ends up here, the Irishman. So anyway, everybody on that list has contributed in different ways. And so I can't give you a rubric of what decides who's going to get it one year and who the next. But this year, we have a young lady, and I'm going to hand off to one of my colleagues. The man that we refer to as not needing any more caffeine. So person with the immense amount of energy. So Chris Flask. Chris is a friend. Where are you, Chris? There he is. Come on up. So Chris and I got to meet a number of years ago. So he's an MRI physicist, so magnetic resonance. And so he does what we call imaging. And we were talking about, I'm a geneticist, and saying, you know, it'd sure be nice if we could see what we're doing, because everything's chemical. And Chris gets involved and said, well, yeah, we can do that and stuff. And one of the problems we were facing with cystic fibrosis is the lungs. And for CF, what the docs will tell you they do is they have the kids blow into a machine and just measure the amount of air that comes out and how fast it comes out and so on and forth. So it tells you if that's not working right, but it doesn't tell you anything about the spatial part. Is it a problem here, where it's going on? And we're thinking about kids, say, well, if you've had an MRI, you know you're sitting in that tube for 30, 45 minutes, and you're in thunk, 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 right? So Chris says, oh, I can do that in 10 seconds. And he did. So anyway, I'm going to stop. Yeah, so anyway, so we've had ever since then just a wonderful relationship. So, but Chris has developed a very special relationship with Natalie as well because of the breast cancer connection. So I thought it was only fitting that he should present the award to her. So, okay, thanks.
Thank you, Chris. So before I get to the award, which is special in itself, Mitch has been very kind and included me in the start of the Research Institute from the very beginning. And he didn't have to. He took a chance on me and my craziness. And I really appreciate that. And we started off, and as Mitch and Jim know, we started off very humble. Like, it was like we're trying to like, hey, can we really do this? And I don't know about you guys, but look around this room. And I said, well, you did it, Mitch. So there's a lot to be proud of in this space. And Becky has alluded to some of the things we're expanding out into different diseases. Well, there's a different kind of expanding out that we really want to do now. We really want to tell the world about what we're doing here, right? And it's not stuff, we can do that as scientists a little bit. We write our papers, we write our grants, we go give seminars and everything else. And after a while they say, okay, nerdy person, go sit down, right? And that's okay, right? I said, but we really want to tell people, like, there's more to this, right? We want science to be at the frontier, and we want to make sure that everybody understands the impact of what we're trying to do here. This is different. This is not typical. Okay, and I would bet Francis would say the very same thing. It's a wonderful community that we live in, and we all care about each other across all of our differences and all of our likes and dislikes, and it's an absolutely wonderful thing. And because of this and bringing everybody together that this Institute has done here, I've gotten a chance to know Natalie Herbick somewhat over the last few years, and it's been really an honor for me. You have a certain vision of what a TV personality is going to be like. Well, let me tell you, she's everything you see and then 10 times more, okay? So she is absolutely kind and absolutely genuine and absolutely sincere in everything that she does and in every interaction that she's had. She takes every ounce of it. This really patient person sat in my office for 2 hours and listened to me pontificate about MRI physics. That takes a lot of patience, trust me, okay? But she did it, and she walked out of there going like, so Chris, you're telling me this is this? And I'm like, wow, you got it. You absolutely got it. And I said, and that's not because I'm a good teacher, because he's absolutely intelligent and spot on. And she gets what we need to do. And I think all of that genuineness and all that kindness is packaged in a human being that works harder than anybody I've met in my entire life. And so anyway, what I'd like to do is bring Natalie up and announce her as the awardee for the Giving Kids Hope Award for 2025. So there is an award that Mitch is figuring out how to deliver it.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you're going to get to see what all of us have gotten to see behind the scenes too, and what you see on television. And again, sincere, kind, genuine. Is that about right?
Well, I'll be honest too. My lashes are falling off already because of that wonderful speech. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mitch. When Mitch told me that I was going to receive this, I told him, you've got to be crazy. What are you thinking? There are so many wonderful people that you saw listed there that are so deserving of this. But I will graciously and humbly accept it because I'm just so proud to be a part of the people that are here in this room and the things that I have learned in my time of getting to know them. They're geniuses. I mean, we're talking about Francis Collins sitting in front of me right now, and I think I was sitting here trying to put my dress on today and I got stuck in it and I'm pulling it down. I'm like, why isn't this working? And then I realized once it was on that I had a zipper that I could have undone. So that's me and this is them. So, I mean, but I've learned, again, so much from these talented people. And my quick little bit about my story, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer a few years ago, and those who have been here have heard me explain that before. And I will just say again, where would I be without researchers? Because doctors, there are so many people who are involved in the process that are miracle workers and do wonderful things. But if we're not getting to the root of the problem, then where are we? And that's what the researchers do. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. I'm grateful to Gabe Spiegel, who is here with me tonight. Gabe is the one who, and you know him probably from Fox 8 as well. He is the one who introduced me to Mitch and got me involved in this in the first place. And I also have Eli Spiegel here with me tonight. Eli, you want to stand and give a quick wave? Give a quick wave. Stand up. He's being a little shy. Eli was born with a gene condition. I love his gene condition. I wouldn't change him for the world. I don't think his dad would change him for the world or his mother. But what Rebecca said before really stood out to me. I get where this affects others. And that is why I know that there are Mitch, where are you? Where did you go? You said that, sorry. There are 10,000 genetics disorders that we're looking into that are rare. And I can't imagine being the mother of a child that is going through that. And so I want to support in any way I can. And what they're doing is absolutely amazing. I wrote a couple little quick notes. I mean, his team, and Rebecca brought it up already. I mean, you talk about incredible. The gene for cystic fibrosis, you found that mutation. You've not only given people hope, you've given people the greatest gift in the world, and that is an extended life. I mean, it is so admirable. And again, for me to be in the same room as someone like you is just, it's rewarding for me, so thank you. And there are so many more wonderful researchers out there like that. I mean, these discoveries, even I know this, that they don't happen in this big dramatic moment. It takes years, long years of hard work and effort to make these advancements. And they don't do it for the glory of it. They don't do it to get the recognition. They're the most selfless people that I've ever come across in my life. They do it because they are the best of the humans out there. You are the definition of humanity. Chris, I mean, all of you. What you do is, as you're saying, as everyone is this theme, and we're saying, there's so much that binds us more than what really divides us. And when you look at the way the world is right now, and you think about what these people are doing, they are the definition of what it means to bring a community together and to fight for what is the most important thing. And that is this beautiful gift of life. And I'm just so grateful. I'll keep saying that to be part of it. I wanted to quickly add too that I'm so grateful that these scientists are kids at heart. You never stop asking why. Why this, why that? And if we didn't have you doing that, again, we wouldn't have these advancements. On top of that, I mentioned before getting to the root of the problem, and that has been a passion for me since I was diagnosed, is understanding that doctors, again, are so necessary, and everything that comes after a diagnosis is so important for those people to be involved. But if we aren't getting to the cause of things, we are going to have to keep treating people. And I know that that's their mission, is to eradicate these diseases, or at least make it so that children live on to have wonderful, long, beautiful lives. So I don't want, as much as I want to accept this award, and I will, I would love to take this moment right now to ask all of these researchers and scientists to please stand up for a moment, because I want us all to congratulate you. Thank you all. Keep up your great work. You have me in your corner 100% of the time. You ask them, they have my cell phones. You can have it. Anything that I can help you do, please call on me. I am here for you. Thank you all, and thank you again so much for this.
Thank you. Don't leave yet. So just to humble ourselves, maybe Natalie had trouble getting her dress on. I didn't realize the awards are right here. So let me make sure I got the right.
Oh my,
Yes.
that's beautiful.
So anyway,
Wow.
so thank you.
I'm gonna hold,
Yep.
Look how gorgeous this is. This is beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now you've all seen our secret. Our scientists are all disguised as well-dressed
Sorry.
people. So
Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you again. Thank you all.
thank you, Natalie. So one more award, and then we'll get on with dinner here. So we decided, again, with one of the themes being that we really have to figure out how to get the young folks engaged and excited and so on and so forth. So last year we created this award, the Young Scientist Award, and this went to a young lady that was actually working with Chris Flask. She was in the MD PhD program and was just finishing up the PhD portion of that, and had really done some amazing things in the imaging world. So Christina McCaskill. So she's now Dr. Christina McCaskill. And so this year we looked at some of the young folks, and everybody's deserving of awards. So it's really hard to pick things out. But a story that to me stuck out was a young lady who my wife Mary and I met, I don't know, what's it been, 13 years ago, something like that. Mary went with me to a conference in Malta. And this young lady was very interested in some of the techniques that we were doing. And she happened to be from Denmark. So she was a graduate student at the time, and a postdoc, and grad student, and came over and visited with us for about 3 months to learn this technique. Went back to Denmark, and then got married, had a baby, and then emailed me one day, and she said, "Can I come back?" And I said, "Well, got to figure out how to fund that. You can't do it for free." So she wrote a bunch of proposals to different places and stuff, and got one from the Carlsberg Foundation. This is the foundation for the brew makers in Denmark. And so she then packed up her family, so her husband, her black lab, and her 3-year-old daughter, and they came across the Atlantic. And so the first picture here on 2014, when Karen was visiting us, and then a few years ago when she took her family, now not just one daughter, but 2 daughters, and we were out at a conference. But what she has done, so taking that kind of leap of faith of saying, okay, I'm going to uproot my entire family, going across the ocean and stuff, and see if I can make a life in the U.S. And that, in addition to, she has just done some amazing things in the laboratory. So she has perfected a technique where you can put, if you know what an endoscope is, if you're of a certain age, you get them from the backside. But she's taken one from the front end, but put it into the lungs of a mouse. So a mouse airway is about the size of a piece of uncooked spaghetti, but it's only about a 1/4 inch long. So to be able to thread something down in there, and she can go in and out of that animal in about 20 seconds. So, and allows us to take pictures, allows us, when we're trying to do these gene correction things, it allows us to put the stuff down in the lungs very quickly without harming the animal in any way. And she's been testing all these mice that we're making. I have to show you these sometime. But so anyway, without going on and on and on. So Karen has done really, really great things. So we thought this, for what she's done, that the award this year should go to Karen Schelde. So Karen, I don't remember where anybody's sitting, so. Yeah. So she is joined by her husband tonight. We're trying to get her parents here, but they were just not quite right around the corner, so.
No, they're not. They would like to be here in thought. Thank you so much, Mitch. It is really an honor for me to receive this award, and I'm also really humbled because I feel that most of my achievements here at the Research Institute for Children's Health, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for our incredible team. It's not just me. We are many researchers working on many different things. And at the Research Institute, we work on children's diseases, that you heard. We work on understanding them. We work on understanding how they develop. But we also work on finding new therapies, and especially through gene therapy and gene editing, where we are now able to go into the DNA in the cells and change these disease-causing mutations back to normal. And it is really incredible work, and I wish I could have put up a PowerPoint presentation to show you a lot of our beautiful images, and I get to sit at that microscope that was funded to us, and it is awesome. So you'll have to come up and visit us so I can show you. And there are also many other things I would have liked to tell you about here. Being a woman in science, being a mother in science, moving to a new country, how you deal with that. It has a huge price to pay because we don't have any family over here, so it's just us. And it is a big expense, but it's also what we wanted to do, moving over here and see how our wings could carry us. And I'm not going to talk about visa issues. We'll just end it there. So I would like to thank a few people who has really helped and supported me. It's not only the PIs, the primary investigators at CASE, but it's also our research assistants, animal caretakers, students, all the people we have around us at CASE who makes it possible for me to do research. And I especially want to thank Natalia Puskowski, who is not here tonight, and Devin Peterson. I think you're down there. Those two women, I work really closely with them every day, and you two are incredible because you are tolerating and accepting my crazy ideas, and you're actually helping me accomplish them. So thank you so much. And then also a huge thank to my mentors who are always there to talk science and brainstorming ideas with me. Mitch Drum, of course, you are the reason why I am here, and that I had the opportunity to come here in 2014. And that was during my PhD degree in Denmark, and here I am again. And I've been here for 7 years now, and we bought a house, and we have one more daughter who's a US citizen, so we're hanging around. Thank you so much for believing in me and for giving me space to grow in the drum lab. I really appreciate that. And thank you to both you and Mary, I'm not gonna cry, for always being there, because you are the family we have here. Sorry. Dr. Ron Conlon, I don't know where you're sitting, but you're also a good mentor for me. And we have a lot of talks about all of these mice. And it's really amazing, and because whenever we go to you, you're so thrilled and excited every time we show you data. And it's just really, that enthusiasm is so contagious, and it really makes my day so much better, and it's so fun to go to work. And Dr. Chris Flask, you're sitting there, yes. Thank you for pushing me. I really don't like being pushed, but you really encourage me, and I face new challenges because of what you tell me to do, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, and please keep pushing me. And another one who is really good at pushing me is my husband Laurits, who is here. He's also the reason why we are here in the US today, because he encouraged me in the first place to get the PhD degree and believe in myself. And when I was almost done, I started talking about maybe we should come back, or I should come back to the US for a year or two. Denmark is very small, so if you want a research position in academia, you need to have been at least 2 years abroad. That's a requirement. So going to the US or going abroad would really benefit me. And when I asked you if we should do that, you did not say no. You just gave up your job and took care of everything in our new home over here with our daughter. And you did that so that I could focus on my career. And I couldn't have had a better support than what you've given me and are still giving me and our 2 girls at home. So thank you. Yes, and so this award and this recognition, it really encouraged me to continue my work, and all the donations that we receive on a night like tonight, that helps me and all the other researchers at the Institute to do the work that is so important for giving kids hope. And I really hope that all of you will enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you so much.
Keep it in here. You want the box?
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. So I don't know about you. That to me, that's just an incredible story. It just occurred to me in my attempts to be like Francis. So he has daughters. I have daughters. When I was a grad student, he decided to bring in a postdoc from Denmark, or Lode Andersen, right? So anyway, the parallels end there. So one of the points I hope you'll take away from what you just heard is we do not work alone. If we don't have our group, we are nothing. So it's having the Chris Flass, the Karens, the Ron, Craig, Tom, all the guys and gals that work together to solve problems, coming at it from as many angles as we can. It is just imperative. So anyway, I know I could keep talking forever, but I think we probably have to have some dinner. Does that sound about right? Yeah. Okay. See the heads going up and down. Yeah. So I think we're going to move to the first course, or second course, excuse me. So thank you, everyone. All right. Well, I hope you're all enjoying an incredible meal. Thank you again, Doug Katz, and your crew for such a wonderful dinner. So as we move along tonight, so the next phase, we're going to lead up to the fundraising part of the night. And to kick that off, we have a special guest tonight, Dr. Francis Collins. And I have to give you a little bit of history on this. So 40-some years ago, I started as a graduate student at University of Michigan. Francis came to University of Michigan as a assistant professor. And you'll see when he comes up here why this is important, but we met at the department picnic. We were on opposite sides of the volleyball net. And you will soon realize that that was an unfair match. So he was starting up his lab, and I was looking for a lab to make home to do my doctoral work. And it was one of those many decisions that I've had since then that was made totally from my gut. It just felt right. So he took me in, and I had the benefit of being the very first student in the lab, so it was a very small environment. He, a technician, and myself. And so I like to think that was the formula for a very special relationship. So we got to be good friends. We played racquetball, all kinds of things. He put some nice big welts on my back from the racquetball. So we just had a great time together. So anyway, there's just not enough time tonight to go through all the accolades that he has received. But after he left Michigan in '93, he went on to lead the human genome efforts and was responsible for us knowing what is on every chromosome of our cells, all the genes. So we now know, when I started graduate school, we thought there were 100,000 genes, and by the time he got done sequencing the genome, found no, there's only 20,000. We're not nearly as complicated as we thought. So we continue to, and part of the message is we just don't know everything, right? We're always revising when we get more data, more information. That's just the way science works. So, but Francis then went on, after the Human Genome Institute, went on to lead the entire National Institutes of Health. And he was the longest acting director of the NIH to date. In the process, he has become really, really good friends with the most amazing people. I think, is it Jane Goodall? Am I getting that right, Francis? So one of his good friends. But if you're music enthusiasts, you might know the name Renee Fleming. So one of his very best friends. He's met the Dalai Lama. He's worked with several presidents. Is it 4 or 5? 6. So see, 6 presidents and so on and so forth. So here's a guy who has every right in the world to be the most arrogant son of a gun you've ever met, but is the most down-to-earth person you ever will meet. So we asked him if he would come. I met with him and his wife. I go to DC fairly often, so we had dinner one night, and I was telling them about this, what we're trying to do, how to get the community engaged. If we really want science to move forward, we got to get the public to know what we're doing and be informed about it. So they graciously agreed to come tonight, and so Francis is going to say a few words, and a little bit later you're going to actually hear some music from him as well. So, but for the moment, Francis, would you please? So. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't. I have to make my funny moment. So, part of the in the era of fake news. So imagine this fishing trip that he and I never actually took, but we were discussing the fish that he caught. And so in his mind, it was monstrous. And when I said no. So what do? We are scientists say, well, let's find where the truth is. So we pull out the tape measure and we find out what the actual size of that fish is. And I'm saying that because that's the way we work. We say, okay, we may disagree, but let's look at the facts and see what they tell us. So anyway, so he has been my mentor, my big brother, my role model, all those things along the way. So thank you, Francis. See the volleyball problem here?
If only I could jump. What an amazingly special evening to be here with all of you. Yeah, I get to go to a lot of events as the former director of NIH and the former leader of the Human Genome Project, and some of them, I got to tell you, are pretty dry. That's not the case this evening. The dynamic here in this room, the sense of community, the sense of working together, the sense of really caring about what we can do to give kids hope is just so much in my heart as I'm listening to the presentations and the awards and just interacting with all of you about why you're here and why you care about this and why in the midst of a time where our society seems so broken and so polarized, right here tonight, we are together. We are together in belief that we can do the things that are right. And Mitch already told you a little bit about our long history together, and you can imagine, therefore, why it was really hard to say anything except yes to this invitation. And I'm glad the invitation happened, and I'm glad Diane came with me to be part of this, because Diane and Mitch have known each other as long as I have known Mitch. In fact, I won't tell the whole story tonight, but Mitch had a significant role as a matchmaker in Diane and I having finally our first date and getting married a few years later. So not only a great scientist, but he believes in romance. And I might say it wasn't just Mitch, because he kind of flubbed the whole thing, but Mary figured out how to get people together who wanted somehow to invite each other a date but didn't know how. A couple of nerds were having trouble there. And now here we are. That experience in the 1980s, in that lab at Michigan, with Mitch as my first graduate student, a short list of other people coming on board and deciding that this is the time to try to do what seemed at the time almost impossible, to actually find what might be 1 or 2 letters out of 3 billion misspelled in the human genome, our own DNA instruction book. A graduate student today would say, well, that's no big deal. I could do that in about a week. But in the 1980s, nobody had done it. and a lot of people thought it wasn't going to be possible. We didn't have anything to go by. We didn't have the internet, for one thing, and we didn't have the human genome reference sequence. So we had this view of our own DNA instruction book of these little tiny islands of information over here and over there with seas of ignorance in between. And it turned out the cause of cystic fibrosis was deep in one of those seas of ignorance, which meant we had to go and dig through it and try to somehow figure out not only what's happening in cystic fibrosis, but what's normal here, which was a huge and difficult challenge. But it took that determination. It took that dedication after multiple really awfully frustrating failures. Mitch could tell you how many times we thought we had something promising and it all fell apart over and over again. It also took something that I think was a really good lesson for me, and I think a lesson for science in general, and a lesson that is being lived out here at CASE with your Research Institute for Children's Health, which is working together. In 1987, our lab was competing with another lab in Toronto, led by a remarkable scientist, Lapchi Choi. And his group and our group were sort of friendly with each other, but it was pretty clear we were each trying to succeed at this enterprise. And it was really hard. And we began to see the way in which their approach and our approach was actually kind of like synergistic. And so we did something that hadn't been done before at that point. Basically, we decided to just merge our labs. So a lab in Toronto and a lab in Ann Arbor got together, and basically all the way from the PIs to the postdocs to the grad students to the techs, everybody had to get over thinking of those people as our competitors to, we're all one team here. We're a collaborative group. And we would meet in a rather dingy hotel. I think it was a Holiday Inn somewhere in London, Ontario, that had a lot of cockroaches. And we would have our regular lab meetings there because we could meet face to face and go over the latest data. And that made a difference, being able to take what otherwise would ultimately have succeeded, but probably shortened the time by a good couple of years. And then there it was, 1989, just 3 letters. In that gene that nobody had ever studied before, that was doing something we couldn't quite figure out, but it looked like it might be a chloride channel, those 3 letters missing in 90% of people who had cystic fibrosis. And that was the famous delta F508 mutation. Now fast forward, that was 1989, 30 years later, 2019, the moment arises. We're building on all the incredible hard work that got done over the coming years. Much of it supported by NIH in academic labs, trying to understand what is this gene's normal function? Why does that, just 3 letters missing out of 1,460, why does that matter? Ultimately figuring out, there might be a way to tweak this particular gene's product to make it work even in a circumstance where it isn't. And then that led to, ultimately, 2019, that remarkable moment where the phase 3 trial for the drug Trikafta was revealed. All right. And, sometimes you look at the results of a clinical trial and you go, yeah, it looks like it kind of worked. This was like breathtaking. The way in which, in only a matter of a few days, in many of the patients who'd struggled their whole lives trying to breathe and deal with these secretions and barely able to keep their weight up, within a few days after starting on this, they talk about it as the purge, where all of this stuff that they had dealt with their whole life is just getting cleared out. Those stories just make me joyful every time I read one. But that is what we're talking about. Cystic fibrosis is a wonderful example of what now should be multiplied thousands of times over for all those other thousands of diseases you've been hearing about that don't have a Trikafta yet or a gene editing success yet. We're seeing more of them. Sickle cell disease is now curable. Think about that for a minute. The first molecular disease, the one that we all grieved over many decades, just wasn't making much progress. Because of the ability to do CRISPR and gene editing, it is now possible to find a cure for somebody with that illness. It's still very complicated and very expensive, but it works. We need to make it better. And while I'm talking about cystic fibrosis, should also be clear that every big advance is also a reason to say, okay, what could we do that would be even better? Because now with cystic fibrosis, if you're in the 90% that has those 3 letters of that gene missing, you're in great shape. But the other 10% don't respond to that drug. We cannot abandon them. And here at Case, Mitch and his team are not abandoning them because there's an approach there to try to figure out how we can help everybody with cystic fibrosis. Never mind which particular misspelling you have in the gene, let's figure out how to fix it. And that brings me to this remarkable revolution about gene editing. You've heard about CRISPR probably, because it's hard to get away from CRISPR. It's in the news all the time. Most of us can't remember what CRISPR stands for because it's a really weird abbreviation for some strange sequence that you find in bacteria. Never mind. It is a phenomenal discovery which led to an appropriate Nobel Prize to Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier, that you can develop basically, think of your genome as a word processor, a search and find mechanism in a 3 billion letter instruction book, and you can find the one place that you want to do something different with. And the original versions it was basically search and delete. And there are times where that's the right thing to do, but sometimes you want to search and replace and fix maybe as subtle as 1 letter. That you can do this? Would I have dreamed that possible even 15 years ago? I don't think so. And yet now, it is the kind of approach that here at Case you can imagine in a place like this institute being brought forward in a scalable way for thousands of diseases without having to take each one as a special case. And that's what we need to do. Chris Austin, who led the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences at NIH, part of NIH that I got started back in 2012, was at a meeting I was at 2 days ago. And he said he had calculated that if we had to go at the pace we were going before gene editing came along, how long would it take us to get to those 7,000 diseases that currently don't have an answer? He calculated about 3,000 years. That is not acceptable. But we can do so much better now because think about this. If you know in a particular case of a human genetic disease where the misspelling is, you know what your target is. And if you have an ability to deliver this gene editing apparatus safely to the right tissue where that gene is causing its havoc, then you've got a scalable issue. You don't really have to understand in great detail about the molecular basis of the disease. You just got to know what the DNA misspelling is, and then you can go and fix it. My own lab has worked now for 20 years on the rarest form of premature aging called progeria. You may have seen heartbreaking and really powerful stories about kids with this condition who look normal at birth but then age at about 7 times the normal rate. I first met this condition in the form of a patient that I was assigned to take care of when I was a fellow in training at Yale, Meg Casey. And for me and for probably many of you, everything we're doing to try to help kids with disorders brings us back to that individual that we tried to help, and it should. That's what this is all about. So I tried to take care of Meg, but I didn't know what I was trying to deal with. Nobody had studied this disease except to describe it. And I thought, well, somebody should work on it someday. 20 years later, I met a White House fellow at a reception, and he took me aside and he said, I know you know something about genetics, and my son has just been diagnosed with a rare disease you've probably never heard of. And his son had progeria. So I talked to him and I talked to his wife, who's an MD, PhD, and they started a foundation called the Progeria Research Foundation. And Diane and I got to know them, and their son, Sam, came out to our house, and we figured out, okay, something could be done here. Let's organize a research effort. And pretty soon I got hooked myself, and pretty soon the research effort involved my lab, and pretty soon we found the cause. In this case, 1 letter out of 3 billion, that almost every kid with this disease had that 1 letter that should have been a C, but it was a T. You know, DNA has just 4 letters in its alphabet, A, C, G, and T. Should have been a C, but it was a T. And you could figure out why that was causing basically a toxic protein to be generated in the cells of these kids that caused those cells to senesce. And as a result, they aged dramatically. So we've been working on that for 20 years, and now gene editing has come along. Meanwhile, their son, Sam Burns, who was quite an amazing ambassador for research. If any of you ever saw the HBO special called Life According to Sam, that was Sam Burns. And it's worth going back and listening to again in terms of what a 15-year-old, courageous young man tells you about what it means to grow up with a disorder of this sort and not let it define who you are. And we lost him a year or two after that. More recently, another young man with progeria, who happened to be named Sammy Basso, in Italy, became part of our research team because he has a master's degree in molecular biology. And because we had developed a drug that turned out to provide some benefit, Sammy was in his 20s. We never saw individuals in their 20s before, but he was. And with his help and with remarkable science from a whole team of people who've been working on this gene editing approach for therapeutic purposes, we are now approaching the point of the first human trial to try to see if you could infuse just one time this gene editor in an appropriate virus that's going to go to the cardiovascular system, which is the most critical place, and see if we could slow down or even stop this disease or even cause these kids to start to get better. We will know that in about a year. And it breaks my heart that Sammy, who's been part of our team, lost his life to this disease a few months ago. That's the human part of this. So when you come and hear everything that's going on here in this Research Institute for Children's Health, it is about fantastic technology. It is about a fluorescence microscope that you all made happen. It is about working with animals and having the space and the talent of young investigators to make it happen. But it's really about the people, the kids that we're trying to help, trying to find answers for. So it doesn't get done without all of that together. The visionary scientists, the attention to ethical and safety issues whenever a clinical trial is being started. We want to be sure we are doing something that considers the benefits and the risks. And yet with clinical research, you never can be absolutely sure you know what the outcome is going to be. But it takes a team. And coming here, as Diane and I did last night and today, we can see the kind of team that Mitch and his colleagues have created. And that's what it really needs to make this kind of progress happen. It also takes resources. Now you might say, well, okay, isn't that what NIH is supposed to do? Well, yes, but it's not a good year for that. It breaks my heart to see, after decades, where NIH, as the largest supporter of biomedical research in the world, has been steadily increasing in their contributions to all kinds of illnesses, from rare diseases to common ones, from basic science to clinical trials, that the current administration proposed cutting that budget by 40% for next year. I'm happy to say the Senate and the House has basically said, no, we don't think that's the right answer, but the story's not over yet. We don't really know what's going to be happening. And this year, with more than 2,500 grants having been terminated, many of them without really an explanation, and about 2,500 scientists being let go at NIH, including myself, it's a very tight, difficult time to see this progress go forward. There's such a paradox here, everybody. The opportunities here for rapid progress in biomedical research have never been better than they are right now. I've been in this now for 40 years. It's breathtaking what we can do with single cell biology, with all the different kinds of omics that we can do with DNA, with RNA, with the opportunity to work with stem cells from individuals that we can basically learn more about them while they're walking around because we have their stem cells to study with their permission. And of course, with CRISPR, all of these new vistas opening up that were just not there a decade ago. It's the very worst time then to pull back the support for this. So you know where I'm going with this. If there's going to be support for biomedical research, it kind of comes from three places. Thank you for raising your paddle. Yes, it comes from the government, and that has been a big part of Americans' leadership for the past many decades. And that one's in trouble right now. It comes from companies who are a critical part of this ecosystem. But companies can't really justify investing in very basic efforts that don't have a direct connection to a product. Their stockholders will not approve of that. And particularly when it comes to a pretty rare disease, companies have a hard time figuring out how they can justify putting tens or hundreds of million dollars into something with a very small market unless the risks have already been reduced. And that means for rare diseases, it's up to academic institutions like this one to de-risk projects, to get it to the point where even though the market may be small, the risk is sufficiently low that a company will say, okay, I'll take it to the next step. That's a good story when it happens. With progeria, this disease I talked about, 1 in 20 million kids have this disease. We think there might be 150 children with progeria alive in the world. No company is interested in that. It's all going to have to be done for other sources. So where's that third source? It's philanthropy. It's big-hearted, generous donors who are willing to say, okay, this is such a critical time and these are kids at risk. We're going to jump in and we're going to help. And this is the year where that has suddenly become even more critical than it ever has been, which is why I'm glad you are all here tonight, and I'm going to try to put a little pitch on you here. If what you've heard about this remarkable research institute inspires you, well, then come and do a lab trip. That'll really inspire you. But even now, right now, figure out that this is a momentum we cannot lose. We cannot let this current circumstance being driven by politics get in the way of scientific projects that's going to potentially save the lives of hundreds of thousands, millions of kids who have these rare diseases that are waiting for answers. And this is the kind of place that can do that. I am grieving that our society has ended up in this place. I did write a book about that called The Road to Wisdom, which apparently is going to be mentioned this evening as part of the auction, which talks a bit about what's happened to us and how is it that we ended up so polarized about everything and that spilled over even to a place like medical research where politics really does not belong, but it's the reality of where we are. I'm an optimist. I think we'll get through this. I'm a person of faith. I pray about this, and I do believe that there is still something fundamental about love and goodness and truth and beauty that will find us through a difficult period, which is what we're in right now. But meanwhile, those of us who have the ability to do so should do everything we can to try to keep that momentum going, because the kids are waiting for those answers. So the need for all of you being here tonight has gone way up. I hope that is something you can help with. This institute is just what we need right now to give kids hope. And I finish with a quote that I think about a lot from many years ago about what hope is all about. This is Peter Levi. Hope, he said, in every sphere of life is a privilege that attaches to action. Think about that. No action, no hope. So if we are tonight here to give kids hope, we're called upon to take that statement as a privilege that needs to attach to action. I'm hoping all of you will see it that way too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Collins. Oh, God, I hate going after him. So you have 5 minutes left for the raffle items. So the gene targeting, which is shooting clay pigeons out of the air, the Dude Ranch outside Tombstone, and oh my God, what's the third one? Bourbon, sorry, thank you. Yeah, how could I forget? Right. So get your last bids in for that. We're now going to move over to the live auction, and one of the most energetic people I've ever known, David McCreary, is going to lead us through the auction. And we're going to start with the first item being the book that Francis referred to. And that will include not just the book, but he will personally sign it, and there will be a photo op to go with it as well after the paddle race. So many of you might know David from Cash Explosion. So he comes up every year from Columbus for this event, and could not be more appreciative. So David, thank you.
All right. Real quick, dinner was fantastic, right? Yeah. Can we give a round of applause to our servers tonight who've been working hard to make sure we get this food? And real quick, before we start the auction, I got to echo what Natalie was saying about it just being an absolute honor to be up here. Every time I'm here, I'm just blown away. And I know it's an honor to be here because I sit out here and I don't understand a word anybody's saying from this stage. I'm like, I just nod. I know it's important and amazing stuff, but I am completely lost. And there's nothing that makes me question like my life choice of becoming a magician as a living more than being in a room with so many brilliant people. You guys are finding cures. You're changing lives. You're saving lives. And I pull quarters out of people's ears. And it's embarrassing because when I started thinking about that out here, I'm like, well, let's see them do that. And then I thought, well, when I pull a quarter out of somebody's ear, it's pretend. If somebody actually has a quarter in their ear, I would have to come to you to figure out how to get it out. So you're even better at that than I am. So I've made some terrible life decisions, but it's gotten me here right now. And again, I am absolutely honored. So let's raise some money. One of the best things about this room, and I told Mitch this earlier, I'm not an auctioneer, but I don't mind auctioning stuff off. But one of the best things about this room, I've never said this to any other room that I've auctioned stuff off, is that this is the most generous room I've ever been in. Last year, we made some amazing money, so I say we do it again. We know that it's going for a good cause, and I say this every year, that there they are. One more time, round of applause for all our servers today. So I say this every year about the auction. It's not about bidding to get what you want. It's literally not even really about bidding to make money for research. It's about bidding enough that you're not made to look like a chump by somebody that's outbidding you. So don't let that happen, because we see you bidding and we see you not win it. We see you leaving here sad. So don't let that happen. Bid big and don't let anybody outbid you. So let's get right into it. The first thing is the book signing and photo opportunity with Dr. Francis Collins. This is awesome. So you're going to get a signed copy of Dr. Francis Collins' award-winning book, The Road to Wisdom. So this is like a once-in-a-lifetime chance to get this book signed. Would you even be willing to sign like to my best friend and then your name? Absolutely. All right. How about something like, I learned so much wisdom from you? Anything. Awesome. All right. So we're going to start off. I'm starting off way low. It's embarrassing that I'm starting off this low. $500 for this signed book. I need $500 right there. 500, about $750 right here. $750. How about 1,000? 1,000 over here. How about 50? Let's jump up to 1,500. Let's get crazy. How about 1,500 for this signed book? 1,500 right there. How about let's go to 2,000. 2,000. And you can't not bid because he's right here seeing you not bid, and that's awkward. 2,000 right there. How about 2,500? Can we jump up to 2,500 for this book? Like I said, I'm not an auctioneer, so I don't talk real fast. But 2,500. 2,500. How about 3,000? Coming back here. Where was that at? 3,000? 3,000? I need 3,000. 3,000. 3,000. How about 4,500? He just got 3,500. You're at the table, so it's going to be really. How about $15,000, sir? He's looking at you. All right, we're at 35. How about $4,000? $4,000. How about 4,000? Need 4,000 signed by the man that wrote the book, the brilliant man we just heard from. I need $4,000. 4,000? $5,000? Sir, I appreciate it. I don't know if you understand how auctions work, though. That's awesome. All right, 5,000. How about 5,500? Right here at the same table. I see you looking at him. 5,500? 55. Don't take that from him. Look at that smile on his face. How about 6,000? 6,000. I'm waiting for Dr. Collins to raise his hand and bid. That would be awesome. It'd be weird, but it would be awesome. All right, we're at 5,500 right here. I need $6,000. 6,000? Anybody 6,000 still in the game? 6,000? Ma'am, I saw you fixing. She's afraid to raise her hand. She fixed her shirt like this without raising her hand very high. 6,000. All right, how about this? What if I had 3 books for 5,500? Can I get 3 people at $5,500? Do I have 2 here? I've got 2 here. I need one more. $5,500. 5,500. Going once. Going twice. 2 books sold for $5,500 each. That's $10,100. Well done. Congratulations. Awesome. See how that is? We started out $500 and we just made $10,100, right? Yeah, $10,100. No. 11,000. See, I told you. I don't understand a word, people. I can't even do math. And I'm supposed to understand what you guys are talking about? All right. Oh, that's embarrassing. All right. One more time, round of applause for these two for that $11,000 total. All right, the next one is the Experience the Arts at University Circle. Enjoy a night at the Symphony, a tour of the Music Library at the Severance Music Center, along with a tour of the Eric T. and Jane Barker Nord Conservation Suite at the Cleveland Museum. 4 tickets to any Cleveland Orchestra concert at Severance Music Center in the 2025 season. You get a parking pass, GIN, I'm assuming that's GIN Suite, intermission services, and post-concert meet and greet with orchestra, all kinds of stuff. An hour guide. Oh, yeah, also an hour guided tour for you and 3 guests of the Nord Conservation Suite. It's an 18,000 square foot state-of-the-art conservation facility. We're going to start off at $1,000 for this. $1,000 for this. There's 1,000. How about $1,250? $1,250 for this Experience the Arts at University Circle for 4. $1,250. I need $1,250. We got 1,000 back here. I need $1,250. $1,250 right here. How about $1,500 back there at the back? $1,500. Yep. How about $1,750? How about $2,000? $2,000. Uh-oh, you're stopping at $1,750. $1,750 right now. I need $2,000 for this awesome opportunity. Going once. Going twice. Sold. $1,750. Thank you very much. $328. $328 is the bidder number. Well done. All right. Our next item, discover a day in the life of a biomedical researcher. I should do this. I need to do this. So I at least know what you guys are talking about. You're going to join Dr. Drum. And let me tell you something again about it being an honor here. I remember the first time Dr. Drum emailed me and asked me to be and come to this event. And what an honor. I remember going out to my wife and said, hey, Mitch Drum just emailed me. She didn't know who that was at the time. She knows now because every time he emails me, I'm like, you have no idea who this man is. I mean, like I said, she does now, but he's emailing me about coming out here and doing this stuff. And now you have a chance to go hang out with him for a day and learn what he does. And I've also heard that if you discover something while they're there, you have to name it after them. Which that's awesome. That's amazing. So that can happen. That can happen for anybody in here for $1,000 right now. Start off with $1,000. 1,000. How about 1,500? 1,500 to hang out with. 1,500 out. 2,000. 2,000. We're at 1,500. 2,000. How about 25? 2,500. All right, we're at 2,000. How about 2,500? 2,500 right here. How about 3,000? Stopping at 25. 2,500. I need 3,000. I need 3,000. $3,000 to hang out with that. You want to talk about it at all? You want to come up here and say anything? Yeah. You want to talk? Did you just bid? You just bid 2,500? I saw that. Yeah, it's 20. We're at 2,500. 2,500.
Yeah, so we now have the Kimball discovery that we're going to name after whatever we find. So, yeah, so it could be you too. So, and not only that, we will give you a wonderful lunch as well.
From where? What are you thinking? Subway?
Yes, yeah. You get to choose. Right? So, no,
Regular or footlong?
or either one. So we have a number of folks who've actually done this before. So Holly, would you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to it? Yeah. So it's a great way for you to see firsthand what we do. We love, and you will be moved by the excitement of the people in the lab who want to show you what they do. So anyway, I encourage you.
Can you bring your family? How many?
We can probably do 4 at a time comfortably. So, yeah.
All right. All right. So up to 4 people. We're at 2,500. 3,000. 3,000 over here. About 3,500. Pretending like you don't hear me, looking down at your food. We're at 3,000 over here. How about 3,500? He's already named something after you. You got to go for 3,500. 3,500. How about 4,000? 4,000 back here, looking around. You can take 4 people with you, make them split the cost. $4,000. It'll be $1,000. There he goes. 4,000. How about 4,500? 4,500. Is that dessert good? It looks good from here. You just keep eating it. I will come down and take a bite. Yes, I will do that. We're at 4,000. 45. How about 5,000? $5,000. 5,000. 5,000. He's thinking about it. Did I see you turn and ask permission, sir? Was that what I saw there? You did? All right. It's a smart man. What'd she say? She said no? How about 4,500? I need $5,000. $5,000 to hang out with Dr. Mitch for a day. 5,000. What if we did 2? What if we did 2? One here and one here for 4,500 each. Would you do that? 4,500? You don't even have to go together because I know you don't like him right now because he outbid you. 4,500 each. Thinking about it? 45. You want me to ask her for you? 4,500. There we go. 4,500, 4,500. Congratulations, guys. Thank you very much. It's awesome. All right, the next one, casting for a cure. Where are my fishermen people at? I don't fish, but where are they at? A couple of you? Yeah, all right, awesome. And I thought I was going to bring them up here. I thought this came with earrings, a big box. Those are lures. So if you get those, do not put those in your ear. They're beautiful. They're beautiful, but do not put those in your ear. This is casting for a cure at Rockwell Springs Trout Club. Your time at Rockwell includes a tour of the hatchery, equipment, personalized fly fishing instruction, along with lunch, dinner, and drinks. Redeemable for 4 guests on a mutually agreed upon date. This is worth a lot of money. I'm going to start off at $2,000 for this. $2,000. I need $2,000 right there in front. $2,000. How about $2,500? $2,500 for this. You break that up for 4 people, it's not much money at all. I'd do the math for you, but obviously I can't do math. So $2,500. I know it's, all right, 25. How about 3,000? 3,000 down here in front. 3,000. Oh, I like it. Becky took it from you. 3,000, how about 3,500? 3,500 to go out and do some fly fishing like a real man. There he goes, 3,500. How about 4,000 right down here in front? Becky, it's right there. The card is right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah. Mike says he's out now that we said real man. We're at 3,500, right? I need 4,000. 4,000 for this trip. 4,000. Anybody over here want to jump back in? 4,000. 4,000 going once. 4,000 going twice. Sold. $3,500 right there. What's your number, sir, just in case they're asking? Number 194. Awesome. $3,500. Fantastic. All right, this one I better you guys better bid for this one because I saw the swarm of people around the wheel of bourbon or whatever that was called out there. I know you guys like your bourbon. This one is wow. 10 10 carefully selected bottles that showcase the artistry of the renowned distillery, Buffalo Trace. Elmer T. Lee, Weller, you got some Weller, you got some Buffalo Trace, of course, and then Blanton's. You got Blanton's in there. This is worth a whole lot of money. I'm going to start off, this is stupid. I'm going to start off at $1,000 for this. Oh, jeez. Okay, I started off way too low. We felt the wave of as the fans came up. All right, let's go 2,000. Who's got 2,000? 2,000 right there. How about 2,500? Who's got 2,500 for these 10 bottles of bourbon? I need 2,500. We got 2,000 right now. I need 2,500 for this. 2,500 for these bottles. Look at those. Look how pretty they are. Oh, you know what would be awesome if somebody bought this and then gave it to me. That would be awesome. We're at 2,000. How about 2,500? 2,500 right here in the front. How about 3,000 over here? 3,000? 3,000? You look so sad, sir. You look so there. 3,000. $3,000. We're at 2,500 right now. I need $3,000. This guy's already bullied some folks. He's got enough stuff. Don't let him get away with getting more stuff from somebody. How about you jumping in there for 3,000? Because I see him. He'd probably bid over you if you go with 3,000. I can't guarantee you, but he might. 3,000. 3,000 going once. 3,000 going twice. Sold. $2,500 right here in the front. Thank you, sir. 146. 146. Do not take that with you when you go visit Dr. Drum that day. Take none of that. All right, this is a big one. This is a big one. It's the ultimate California wine country experience for six people. Look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff that's included. I don't even have time to read it all. 6-night stay for 6 guests in the heart of Dry Creek Valley. So while I'm talking about this, look around your table and see there's 6 people that want to split this with you. Because you split this 6 ways, it's very little money. So you got that. And then I heard earlier that this 6-year vertical, where is it? 6-year vertical from Beckstoffer. That's never been done here. And 2 of those wines haven't even been released yet. But you got all that other stuff. I see you guys reading it. This is worth a lot of money. I've got to start pretty big. I'm going to start off at $6,000. That's $1,000 per person. There's 6,000. How about 7,000? Oh, how about 8,000? 9,000. No, keep going. I like it. 9,000. Are you guys 8,000? You got 8. One of you have 8. He has 8,000. Sir, do you want 9,000? Let me come back here. You want 9,000? We're at 8,000 right now. 8,000 right now. I'm looking for 9,000 right here. 9,000. How about 10,000? $10,000 over here. We got 9,000 up front. I need 10,000 over. 10,000. How about 11? 11,000. 11. How about 12,000? We can make some big money here. 12,000. How about 13,000? You're still 13,000. Dark horse jumping in. How about 14,000? Somebody saying David? I thought somebody was saying David. We're at 13,000. How about 14,000? 14. How about 15? 15,000. He bid quick. How about 16,000? 16,000. He doesn't even look. He knows where it is, and he holds it up. He's at 16,000. Don't let him do that to you. 17? 17,000? 17,000. 17. 18,000. Show him how you reach down there and grab that without even looking. Look at that. Never breaks eye contact with me. 18,000. 19,000. Everybody at your table is judging you right now. 19. How about 20,000? 20,000. 20. 20,000. I need 21,000. 21,000. You're stopping there for the time being. We're at 20,000 for this amazing trip. 6 people. You split that up, and it's 20,000 divided by 6. So we're at 20,000. I need 21,000. 21,000. 21,000 right here. Oh, she's angry. She's angry. Yeah, he right over here. I need 22. 22. 22. About 23. 23. How about 24? I need 24,000. 24,000. 24. Now, I'm going to say 25,000, but you can give me a number much higher than that if you want to knock them out or try to knock them out. We're just going with 25, okay? 25. How about $26,000? This is an unbelievable, look at all that stuff. We don't even have time to read it all. There's so much stuff there. We're at $25,000. We need $26,000 for this trick. 26,000. 26 going once. You're going 26? 26, because you were also 25. No, you're a 25. But do you can still go 26 if you want. Oh, 26 back there. Up. $30,000. He just went $30,000. What do you think about that, sir? 30,000. 31,000 up here. 31,000. How about 32 or whatever you want to tell me, as long as it's over 32. 32,000. 32. Hold on, he's very polite. He's chewing up dessert. We need 32 at least from you. 35? 35,000. 35,000. All right. We're at 35. I need 36. He's saying no right now. How about 36? Anybody else from somewhere that we haven't talked to yet? We're at 35,000. $36,000. Going once. Going twice. Sold. $35,000 in the back of the room. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I was just given one of these real fast. Was this something you need me to hold on? Uh-oh. Do we have an announcement? Two of those? Two of those? So it's 30,000. Sir, would you buy one for 30,000? We got two of them, or anybody in here want a second one for 30,000? 30. Where are we? I'm not an auctioneer. 35? 35, yes, 35. All right. How about this? Is there anybody else that wants to bid 35,000 for it right now? It's yours. 35,000 for this trip. Going once, going twice. All right, we made $35,000. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. All right, so let me tell you this. Let me tell you what happened. That was our last normal item. We're going to get into a thing of legend right now. So here's what happened. My first time up here to host this was at the Agora. It was kind of a rock and roll theme. I came up and I had a belt on that was a rock and roll type belt. It had skulls on it, like metal skulls. It was a heavy belt. It was counterintuitive. It pulled your pants down more than it held because this was a heavy belt. But somebody in the audience saw it. They wanted me to auction off. I think we made $70 for it. I had to do it. I cannot do that. So I auctioned off the belt. The next year I come up and I get here and somebody's like, what are you going to auction off? And I'm like, I'm not auctioning off. That was just a once. That doesn't happen every time. And then somebody said, what about the jacket you're wearing? And it's the jacket you see being modeled right here. This jacket was a couple years ago. We modeled this jacket. We auctioned it off. I think the first year we got maybe $400 or $500, maybe $600 for it. Last year, this jacket went for $1,500. Come on up. Come on up and introduce yourself. We're gonna bring you up here and introduce yourself. All right, you bought this last year. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brad Hughes. Research Institute for Children's Health is amazing. I'm wearing the jacket. It's a great cause. It's incredible science. It's been reiterated multiple times. Now is the time to help science.
Yeah.
We shouldn't pause. We shouldn't slow down. We should speed it up.
And you do it in style with this jacket.
Do it in style with a jacket that clearly doesn't fit, but it is a good jacket for you, even if it fits, even if it doesn't fit.
But it looks good on him, right? Even if it doesn't fit. You want to walk it off a little bit. I'm too sexy for my jacket. Too sexy for my jacket. All right. So now I know this jacket also brings good luck. Tell me about all the good things that have happened to you this year because of this jacket.
Oh my goodness. All the things. I mean, just look at all of these. We got a puppy?
Because of the jacket. Because of that jacket. If you wanted a puppy, you need that jacket. What else? What other amazing things have happened?
We moved to a new house.
You got a new house?
In Ohio City, yeah.
In Ohio City. There you go. Because of the jacket. Had he not had that jacket, he'd be homeless and no puppy. But that jacket that only cost him $1,500 bought him a house and a puppy. Anything else? Or you want to just get into it?
I think we should get into it.
All right, here we go. Last year, this jacket went for $1,500. It shows up on Instagram, on social medias. It just looks so good. I know, look at it. So I'm going to start off at what we left with last year. Anybody want to bid $1,500 on this jacket? There we go, $1,500. How about $1,750? I need $1,750. We can't stop it at $1,750. I love it. How about $2,000? $2,000 right here. How about 25? $2,100. How about $2,200? $2,500. $2,500 for this. I got to look. It's an awesome jacket, but it did not. It cost. I think it cost. Huh? So you see him wearing it. You wear this?
Yeah, I mean, check this out. Look at the things that you get from the jacket. Like,
what are those tickets for?
I mean, the tickets. These are used tickets.
Okay.
But you have to buy the jacket to experience what's in the pocket.
Okay, I like it. I did see one of my business cards in there. He's never called me, so he doesn't use it, but I appreciate it. So we're at $2,500. I need $2,600. Again, this jacket is people are going to, a pin. All right, $27,500, not $26,000, $27,500 because it comes with a pin. $2,600. $2,600 going once. $2,600 going twice. Sold for $2,500 right there. Sir, come on up here. Come on up. We got to have a passing of the jacket. A passing of the jacket. This is Mike.
Yeah, this is my good friend Michael Farragudo.
You know, if I squint, you guys look identical. It's like the same guy putting the jacket on.
Must be the haircut.
It's the haircut. Look at that. It's a magic jacket. Did you see how the jacket seemed to get bigger when it went on Mike? $2,500 for that jacket. You guys are amazing. Round of applause for all of you. Thank you for bidding. Have fun with the items you just won, you just bought. You've done amazing things. I'm going to bring up Natalie. Oh, yeah. Natalie, you're coming up to announce some winners of our silent auction. You don't have them in hand? Not yet. Not yet. This jacket's pretty nice. You know what? I just bought this jacket last week. I was at an event. Daggone it. It's a little sweaty. It's warm in here. All right. Even better. And let me tell you, this shirt is like a material that you can really see your nipples through it. I'm a little nervous about taking the jacket off. You want the jacket hold the nipples? I may have to if I take the jacket off. I'll tell you what, though. Dang it. My wife, I got home. Listen, this jacket, I bought it last week. I was at an event where I needed new coats, or two coats, and I didn't know I needed a second one. Only place close was Kohl's down the street. So I walk in, and I'm like, I gotta find a cheap jacket. That's kind of money I'm making, Kohl's money around here. And I'm like, I gotta buy a jacket. I saw this one. It was on the clearance. This was on the clearance rack. It was $55. 55. I'm only gonna sell this jacket if we start off at $500 for the jacket. Dang it! What? She just bid $500. How about $600? Crap! I mean, awesome. We're raising money, but I'm losing. I would have worn an older jacket. I knew we had this one. $700. $700. I'm coming in a Speedo next week or next year. $700. About $800. $800. I don't even know what size it is. It just fit me when I put it on. We're at $700. How about $800? $800. $900. $900. How about $1,000? $1,000. I got magic props in this jacket. I got to take out of here. deck adds to it. You want a half deck of cards that's in my pocket? I'll put my wallet in my back pocket. All right, what are we at? $1,000? $1,000, and I'll give it to you before I leave. 1,000 with the wallet. I'll tell you that won't happen. That you wouldn't want this. It's a nerdy magic wallet. But we're at 1,000, and I'll give it to you right before I leave again because you can see. I'll have to walk around like this because you see through this shirt. Not through it, but it's textured. Oh no, he's like, this is it. We're done with you, McCrary. No more.
I want to sell mine too.
You want to sell yours, but you want to keep the money.
So 5 minutes for silent auction to close. So while we go on the jacket.
All right, we're at $1,000. Anybody want to bid $1,100 for this jacket? This jacket that I was excited to wear tonight because it's new and my wife likes it, and I'm going home without it. 1,100. 1,100 going once. I see now it's even sweatier now because 1,100 going once. He has it right here. 1,100. 1,100. How about 1,200 right here? 1,200. 1,200 going once. 1,200 going twice. It's right there in front of you. I don't know if you saw it. Going once. Going twice. 1,100. Sold. $1,100. Thank you. That's awesome. I can't be mad. I can't be mad about it. We just made. What's that? Oh, what's 246? 246. I only have one of them. What if I cut it in half and both of you pay? Hang on to it for now. I'll get you before I leave. All right. $1,100. What's that? The shirt? You trust me, you don't want the shirt. The shirt. I do. Okay. Never. Sorry. This is a size, probably a size 10 shoe. But I've had it for a while. You don't want that. I'm trying to think what else I can auction off. What about these flowers right here? Can these flowers go? Is this? These flowers right here. I don't even know who they belong to. How about $200 for these flowers? 200. I could be getting myself in trouble selling somebody's flowers. I can sell them. I can really sell them. Who wants $200 for these beautiful flowers? You know where the money's going. These will last for. They are real. 200. 200 right there. How about 300? 300. How about 400? 400. You're at the same table for it. 500. I'm going to set these down because that's some heavy flowers. They'll last a long time. They'll last a long time. We're at 500. I need 500. 400. I need $500 for these. 500 right here. How about 600? 600 for these flowers. How about 700 over here? We're at 600. How about 700? Whoo, I'm warm. You're not going to want this jacket. You're going to want to get it dry cleaned. 600. I need 700 over here. 700 going once. 700 going twice. 700. How about 800? 800. How about 900 for these flowers? You can take them home tonight. 900. 900. We're at 800. How about 900 going once? Going twice. Sold $800. 109. 109. Still got a couple minutes? How about that? The individual table flowers. We're selling those. What do you want to say? We'll set a fee right now, or a total right now. We're going to do $50 a thing? Huh? $50 a table. Not 50 for all of them. What are you thinking? Yeah, 50. Oh, okay. I don't know how we're going to make this work, but you just got to go on the honor system. It starts off, this is what we're learning. We're kind of make it up as we go along. $50 is starting bid. You bid at your table. Whoever bids the highest and gives their number to somebody, we know the table numbers, gets the bouquet in the middle, the centerpiece. Starting at $50, you can go up from there. I'm not sure what you just bid on. Oh, that, you're 50 bucks. I see what you're saying. But you're going to go ahead and discuss amongst your group. So like if somebody there wants to bid more than 50, they're outbidding you. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. So $50, go ahead and talk amongst yourself, and then we'll find out. How do we do this? I have no idea how we do this. We're just hoping that somebody comes back to you with some money. Yeah, so we're looking for at least $50 a table to take home the centerpiece. If your table if somebody doesn't want to buy it for 50 bucks, maybe somebody at another table would like to buy it. But if you want to buy a centerpiece, it's going to be at least 50 bucks. Are we figuring out?
Let's do this at the end of the night. If you are the highest bidder, bring your flowers to the checkout table. And that way we can take care of it then and we can continue with the evening. Yeah?
Yeah, sounds good. Perfect. All right. How we doing? We still waiting on the raffle? Still waiting on the raffle? We got the raffle. Okay, because I was about to raffle off the podium.
Let's give him another round of applause. That was pretty darn good for not being a professional at this. I think you're pretty good. Minus the adding thing, but that was fine. I'm right there with you. All right, so I have the 3 silent auction items to announce right now. So we're going to start with the rare bourbons. Who put in a ticket for the rare bourbons? Okay, All right, well, so your odds might be really good. We have bidder number 245. It's Katie Windall. Congratulations! All right. And then let's do the Gene Targeting 2026 Team of 6. That is bidder number 299, Katie Butcher. Congratulations. And last but not least, the Old West Dude Ranch Vacation for 2. That is bidder number 141, Michael Sperry. Congratulations to all of you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Round of applause to all of you, to David and Natalie again. That was spectacular. All right. So we have a special treat for you. So Dr. Collins is going to do a number for us with his prized possession. Many of you will call that a guitar, but to him it is Rosalind. And if you're science geeks, you might know of Rosalind Franklin. So
This is not to be auctioned off.
yeah. And David will be back in a minute.
So everybody, this has been an amazing evening, but in my experience growing up on a farm, where the thing that really made the evening perfect was a chance to all sing together, you're about to get that chance. All right? And I'm going to teach you a song, and it's really about what's happening here tonight. The song is called All the Good People, because that's what I'm experiencing by being here with all of you good people. It's a song that's often sung at the end of a folk festival where people are feeling really mellow and like this is great. But I kind of rewrote the words because we have a different kind of mellowness here. A mellowness that I hope when it comes to raising your paddles in a little bit will inspire you, if you weren't already, to figure out how you can contribute to this amazing, amazing institution, the Research Institute for Children's Health. So here's the chorus. I'll sing it for you once. All you got to know is this is a song for all the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people. You got it so far? The only hard part is that fourth line, giving kids hope through your love and your care, because that's what we're about here, giving kids hope through your love and your care. Well, this is a song for all the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people, giving kids hope through your love and your care. Can you do that with me? Oh, this is a song for all the good people We're part of this family. This is a song for all the good people, giving kids hope through your love and your care. Sound pretty good. Well, this is a song for all of those dreamers. We're working for breakthroughs to come our way. Scientists, families, donors, all seekers, we share in the hope for a brighter day. So this is a song, come on, for all the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people, giving kids hope through your love and your care. Well, this is a song for those who have suffered. Your strength and your spirit have touched one and all. It's your dedication that's our inspiration. Because of your courage, you help us stand tall. So this is a song for all the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people, giving kids hope through your love and your care. Well, this is an amazing 10-year effort we're singing about. So the last verse is about all those who have made that happen. For 10 years you've built this with true dedication, a noble creation. Your motives are pure, it's your innovation that yields to translation, from basic causation to someday the cure. So this is a song for all the good people who are part of this family. This is a song for all the good people, giving kids hope through your love and your care. Giving kids hope through your love and your care.
Tell me you've ever been to an event like this before. I don't think so. All right. All right. So our last part of this is what we call the paddle raise, but I want you to know, so this is one where we'll go through a number of levels of donations, but you should know what it's going to. So over the past 10 years, we've been able to expand the things that we're working on. We're starting programs now, one in diabetes, and that includes type 1, type 2, things called MODI, all types of different diabetes. And this is an effort led by some scientists over on this table right here. So Yan Lee, Dave Buckner, and Fulai Jin, who are doing some amazing things to look at the pancreas, look at individual cells in the pancreas, things called the islets, that are responsible for the cause of diabetes, and trying to figure out what is it about somebody who has diabetes that changes their pancreatic function. So that's one. The other one is what we call neuromuscular diseases. So if you go back and you remember about the Jerry Lewis telethon, so the muscular dystrophies, spinal muscular atrophy, we mentioned that a little bit ago. So these are ones where they're debilitating diseases where a kid just can't move, their body parts just don't move correctly. So we brought up, where's Anton hiding? So we brought, standing in the back there, so Anton you might think of as, like we said, the bourbon wheel spinner, but he's actually much more than that. So he's working on spinal muscular atrophy. He came up from Ohio State Nationwide Children's, from one of the leading labs working in that area. So we continue to grow. And again, it's only because folks like yourselves have participated, bought weird jackets, all kinds of things to make this all work. So anyway, so David's going to kick off the paddle raise.
Thanks, sir. All right. So, yeah, we're just raise some money. We're just going to change some lives right here in this room right now. So I want to just start off. Let's start off at $1 million. If somebody wants to bid $1 million, we'll just call it a night. We'll go have some drinks and we'll be done for the night. No? Okay. How about 10,000? You got my number? No, I don't have that kind of money. I wish. All right. How about 10,000? Let's start off $10,000. There's somebody right there. 112. 112. Thank you very much. Anybody else at $10,000 like to give $10,000 tonight? $10,000? 10,000. All right. We're going to jump down to $7,500. We've had somebody already give $7,500 tonight. So thank you to them. I don't know if they're in the room or if they want to be anonymous, but we have somebody already at $7,500. Anybody else who wants to do $7,500 tonight? $7,500 for research. $7,500 going once. Oh, there's a total. Looky there. A total up there. All right, $7,500. How about 5,000? Let's drop down to 5,000. 5,000. 312, 132. So 312 and 132. Anybody else for $5,000? 5,000 going once, going twice. All right, how about $2,500? Who'd like to do 25? 224, 142, 220. 304, 138. Thank you. Yeah, we get a round of applause for everybody so far. Anybody else at 2,500? 146, 146. Anybody else at 2,500? So just to prove that I am pretty good at math, all those numbers that were just raised for 2,500 came out to 972. So I am pretty good. You just have to trust me. Anyone else at 2,500? 2,500. Let me see. I'll make sure I go to the right. We got spots we want to hit. 2,500. What about $1,000? $1,000. Who wants to get 1,000? All right, here we go. 246, 380, 197, 109, 106, 283. 107, 328, 170, 302, 261, 299, 376. Yeah. We need louder yows. There we go. I like it. Anybody else for $1,000? Want to do $1,000? All right. Let's drop down to $750. How about $750? Who wants to do $750 in the room? $750. 206. You give yourself one of the. You just wowed everybody else. There you go. 206. 108. 108. Anybody else for $750? All right. 500 sounds like a really good number. How about $500 right now? 324. 354, 193, 110. Need 500. We're at $500 right now. 500. 189, and then you got the other one, 187. 305. Anybody else at $500? 500 going once, going twice, and I just reminded something else. Round of applause for the band back here. They've been playing, sounding fantastic. Thank you for being here. And our sound crew back there. All right, where are we? 250. How about $250? Who's at 250? 254, 252, 284, 309, 186, 185, 241, 139. Anybody else at 250? 250. All right. Now we can do this. If you've bid already, you can bid again. This would be fun just to read off a bunch of numbers. $100. If you bid already and you want to bid another 100, hold it up. Sorry, you got it backwards. There we go. 202. 202. We're at $100. 216. 217. 215. 213, 235, 130, 326, 112. Am I going too fast? You all right? 107. Anybody else 100? 257, 288. Anybody else at 100? 217. Yeah, I think with 217, 218. We got those. Yep. Anybody else? Oh, 268, 361, 302. Anybody else? 360, 360. All right, how about $50? $50. Again, if you've already been, you're like, I can do another 50. Let's cause some carpal tunnel here as they're writing these numbers down really quick. 50, 170, 170. Anybody else at $50? Going once, 242, 215, 245. There's another $50. All right, this is it. Going once, going twice. All right, how about $1.75? Again, you guys have been awesome. Round of applause for all of you. You guys have been incredible. You've raised some amazing money tonight. What encouragement you've done is for our researchers, knowing that you got their back. Thank you for being here. Here you go. Y'all, please.
Amazing. All right. So as we wrap things up, please, if you have items, check out. You can do most of it on your phone if you're under 40. But I cannot thank you all enough for what you've done tonight. You have really allowed us to move forward with things. For those of you who bid on the book and were the winning bidders, we will have a little photo op and signing for you somewhere here. So don't leave before we get Dr. Collins to sign your book copies. So anyway, enjoy the rest of the evening. You're going to have hear the band play for a little bit and have a wonderful night. And I cannot thank you. Oh, the last thing too is we do have your emails now. So we're going to tell you about other events. So gene targeting, lab tours, all those things that we do, just to give you the opportunity. There's no pressure. We just want you to know what we're doing. If you think it might be something that a friend or a relative would like to do, and whether you're interested or not, let them know. We just want the word spread. That's the magic of all this. So anyway, thank you again and have a wonderful evening.